What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out, and I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. I am sore and tired myself. took some ibuprofen a little bit ago, so hopefully they kick in any time now would be great. Anyway, gonna make it kind of a quick, easy show this evening. Before we get started, however, I want to put out there a YouTube channel that I had recently ran across. The guy had just started out, so I told him that I would mention his channel at the beginning of the show, and I'm gonna make good on my word. So the channel, let me get this screen out of the way here and switch over, maybe, is Average Man's Prepping and Survival. So he's brand new. He's got 4 subs and 2 videos. So, I mean, like new. So let me give the link in the chat. It's also in the description, at the top of the description in tonight's show. And there's the link in chat. So if you feel so inclined, go check them out. So what his little blurb thing says here is, this is a no-nonsense average man's way to being prepared and exchange of ideas that may or may not work for everyone, but will usually work for the average folks. This is not some panic-filled political rants and news you can get on the radio, paper, computer, TV, or corner breakfast hangout. This may help you avoid some mistakes and buying things in a panic you won't need or use. Enjoy, behave, and be nice to folks here. Exchange ideas. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of what the channel is about, and this is what we need to see more of. And so that's why I'm more than happy to promote a channel like this, because leave the news to the news folks. You know, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a news folk. I'm saying that because all they're using it for is to scare people and to get people to buy stuff and get people to keep clicking on their videos. And that's not cool. That's not ethical. It's not moral. It's not any of that. You know, how many times have you heard Civil War, Civil War? Are we any closer? No, we're not. Now, the things are still happening, don't get me wrong. Not saying that, you know, there's still not political persecution going on. That's absolutely not the case. There's a ton of political persecution going on, and it's getting worse. But the American people aren't going to stand up. And I know that's going to pee a lot of people off. Sorry, I thought I switched back over. I know that's going to pee a lot of people off, but the truth of the matter is, most of the American people are not willing to sacrifice much of anything, to be honest. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Until the American people decide that things are bad enough that they're going to risk or would be willing to risk what they have, nah, you're not going to see a civil war in this country. You're not going to see a revolution in this country. We are a far cry away from either one of those. And it is what it is. I mean, there are a large part of the prepping community that seem to be addicted to fear. And that's why they get upset when people like me come out and say this type of stuff. They don't want the truth. They want that daily fear fix. And that's not a good mindset to be in. And when the time does come that we have to employ our preps, it's not going to be fun. I keep trying to say that preparedness it's not a club. Yet it's being treated like that. And that is so dangerous as far as a mindset is concerned, because whether you realize it or not, when you participate in things like that, you build at least a certain level of dependency on the other parts of that group, of that society. And the truth of the matter is, unless your club is a truly local club, they aren't going to be there when things go tits up. I had to choose that word, especially considering the first story we're going to talk about. But seriously, when things go tits up, right? Just hope it ain't a man. Oh wait, no. I'm getting the first story confused again with what I was talking about. It's kind of hard not to. I'm still trying to figure out the picture that I'm looking at, if that's a chick or if it's a dude. I have no idea. I mean, I'm not that deeply worried about it, but yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to lecture you about prepping. I do that enough. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I'm sore as hell. Let's get to some news. Let's rip it off like a Band-Aid and not like a baby on a man's tit. But I'm not saying anything, and I cannot confirm or deny or even know what the hell's going on at this point. So, trans milk, and I'm just reading the article, folks. Trans milk is as good as the real thing. Now, this is coming from the NHS. That's those weird cats over there in the UK that think they know what's good for everybody. But, don't worry, it's coming to a country near you soon. I guarantee. Says here, the drug-induced nipple secretions. Right there, you've got me at that. I mean, I'm in love. I mean, some dude's got drug-induced nipple secretions. I'm on board. Anyway, trans women are as good as mother's breast milk for babies, the University of Sussex Hospital's NHS Trust claimed in a letter to campaigners made public in a report by British think tank, they're not thinking very hard, the Policy Exchange on Sunday. Now, how dare you want to go have some raw milk from a cow? How dare you? That is so dangerous. It's got to be outlawed. But you can get some. I don't even know what the hell to call it. It says the Healthcare Trust medical director Rachel James. Is it really a Rachel? Or argued that I gotta ask if the off-label prescription drug cocktail men transitioning to female take in order to produce milk was similar to the natural hormones which encourage lactation to develop when the baby is newly born. Why do we even have to ask these questions? The evidence which is available demonstrates that the milk is comparable, it's white and liquidy, to that produced following the birth of a baby. James wrote in a letter sent to the children of transitioners last August. Biological men who wish to lactate. Are you a biological man who wishes to lactate? Really? I mean, they must first take hormones to grow milk glands, okay? So before your titties can be activated, you got to take some hormones. And then you have to take high doses of either domperidone or metoclopramide. Yeah. Just think Latin and you'll understand. To stimulate milk production. Neither drug is approved for this use. Well, no. I mean, could I please have a bottle of the man-titty pills? I mean, really? Though they are occasionally prescribed off-label to biological women who have trouble lactating. However, domperidone's own manufacturer, Janssen, warns patients that the drug may cause unwanted side effects. Yeah, you're going to grow boobies, dude. The heart, affecting the heart in a breastfed baby. Ooh, that's not good. And should be used during breastfeeding only if your physician considers this clearly necessary. So, in other words, the drug's manufacturer is pretty much saying, nah, don't do it, homie. And the NHS is saying, oh, it's just fine. Just fun. It seems like there was something else within the last few years that like the NHS was all on board for, and so many people warned about possible side effects, but I can't put my finger on it. USHT doubled down on its claims that chest milk, I guess we can't call it breast milk anymore, chest milk, I mean next you're just going to be like duct taping bladders to your, I don't know, was just as good as breast milk on Sunday. We stand by the facts of the letter and the cited evidence supporting them, it said in a statement. In other words, some moron writes something down on a piece of paper, and that's good enough. That evidence reportedly included a handful of decades-old articles comparing milk produced by induced lactation with postpartum mother's milk, apparently not distinguishing between milk produced by biological women and that produced by biological men, and the World Health Organization's recommendation of breast milk, which the trust called human milk, over infant formula. The trust also cited a 2022 study that had found there were no observable infant side effects in the babies of lactating trans women. However, critics pointed out that the study lasted just 5 months and included no long-term follow-up. Most writings on the subject have not looked at what's in the milk itself. What would that matter? One medical expert told the Daily Mail. You know, they still try to say that vaping is the devil. They still try to tell you that there's not been enough long-term research done on marijuana. But 5 months on man titty milk, good to go. And if you just walked in the door, I really don't apologize. We're talking about man titties and whether the man titty milk is comparable to the woman titty milk. So, I don't know. I'm not about to try and find out. The group admitted its policy was based on advice from external organizations, though it did not name them. USHT, was reportedly the first UK health trust to adopt the term birthing people as part of its inclusivity efforts. I'm not really wanting to be inclusive at this point. Denouncing the NHS trust claims as unbalanced and naive, Policy Exchange head of Equality and Identity, Lottie Moore, slammed the organization for compromising women's rights and child safeguarding by encouraging unsafe practices. They don't give a damn. A child's welfare must always take precedence over identity politics and contested belief systems that are not evidence-based, she told the Mail. Wow, she needs to be banned. It's ridiculous. It truly... And I got no answers other than just say no. Keep telling these people no. They're not going to be accepted. They're not going to be coddled. They're not, and when I say accept, I don't give a damn what people want to do behind closed doors on their own time. As long as they're not shoving it into my face or the face of children, I could care less. But you're not going to sit here and put my back up against a wall to say that, oh, everything's hunky-dory with your freak lifestyle. It ain't going to happen. It is not going to happen. I am not going to enable. Anyway, let's move from titty milk to... I don't know. I can't think of a good joke to insert here. I would if I could, but I'm tired. Ukraine, a matter of life and death, says Putin. Now, on a serious note, when it comes to this article, if there's any news that concerns me from today, it's probably this one. And the reason why, and I'm not raising the alarm or anything like that for the Ukraine-Russia conflict, Russia-Ukraine, whichever you want to say first. equality. There was only one instance in what Putin said that he would use nuclear weapons. And that instance was if this conflict became existential for Russia. Now, it almost seems as if he's moving that line. This article says the Ukraine crisis is of existential importance for Russia. President Vladimir Putin told reporter Pavel Zarubin on Sunday, while it is only a tactical issue for NATO. He explained that the main goal of his deep dive into the country's history during an interview earlier this month with American journalist Tucker Carlson was to give the Western audience a chance to understand Moscow's mindset on the issue. Putin admitted that understanding all the intricacies of Russia's 1,000-year history is not easy for Western viewers, especially Americans whose country has only existed for 300 years. However, the president said he believed that it was important for Western audiences to understand how we think, to understand how sensitive and important this issue is for our country. The Russian president added that this was the core message that he wanted to send to the West. Whether it worked, it is not up for me to judge, he added. During the 2-hour interview with Carlson, which has garnered tens of millions of views, Putin spoke at length about how the Russian and Ukrainian states came to be. He said that while the territory of modern Ukraine had come under heavy Polish influence, many people in the region still wanted to join Russia because of the close cultural and religious ties. And I don't really doubt that, to be honest. Hang on, coffee. But here's the thing. The cherry on top, if you will, of this particular news. Ukraine needs nuclear rockets, says MP. And this said MP is with the Wicked Witch of the West, and so that's concerning to me. Apparently, this picture taken with the Wicked Witch of the West, I believe was taken like 2 days ago. So, yikes. Here says, unless Ukraine obtains a full NATO membership, it will have no other choice but to develop or somehow else obtain an arsenal of atomic weapons, according to MP Alexei Goncharenko. The Ukrainian lawmaker pressed U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on the issue at the Munich Security Conference on Saturday, wondering what other options Kiev has against Moscow besides becoming a member of NATO, allying with a nuclear power, or restoring our nuclear potential, but the American diplomat dodged the question. Once again, I will say directly and openly, I support the return of nuclear weapons to Ukraine, and I believe that this is our only option for survival, Goncharenko told in the Telegram post on Sunday evening, noting that Blinken did not answer his question. The lawmaker went on to argue that if NATO does not want to accept us, the nuclear rockets must be made, insisting that Kiev would gladly endure any potential sanctions for the breach of the non-proliferation treaty. We don't need 1,000, we need 20, he claimed, without elaborating how exactly he expects Kiev to obtain the nukes. Ukraine has almost no chance of producing nuclear weapons on its own. The head of the country's National Security and Defense Council, Alexei Danilov, acknowledged last year, while hinting that Kiev may eventually host a Western-made atomic arsenal. And then it goes into collapse of Soviet Union and all that. Now, if you've been playing along for the home game, you'll realize that they've been doing this the entire time. And while it may be made to sound as bizarre as what it is at this point in time, remember, there's been a whole lot of things that are bizarre that Ukraine has achieved, and I'm talking about everything from the long-range missiles to the F-16s to the... And this is, in my opinion, just a warm-up. You know, just to get people to toss it around in their heads, get used to the wording of it and everything else, and maybe in 6 months, they might be moving missiles in. So we'll see. I don't want to in any way insinuate that I think that's what's going to happen, because I don't know. I couldn't 100% rule it out, that's for a fact, but I'd say highly unlikely. But there's that chance. UK wants to give Ukraine swarming drones, says Bloomberg. And here, while in the United States, DJI may be banned even for regular consumers or regular recreational flyers. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Ukraine will soon receive thousands of AI-enabled drones capable of autonomously swarming Russian targets, Bloomberg has reported. However, Moscow has repeatedly pointed out that Western wonder weapons have thus far failed to change Kiev's fortunes on the battlefield. The UK is working with the U.S. to acquire the still-in-development technology, Bloomberg stated on Saturday, citing people familiar with the matter. Western military planners developing the technology believe it could allow Ukraine to overwhelm certain Russian positions with the unmanned vehicles, the American news outlet wrote, explaining that the AI-enabled drones would be deployed in large fleets communicating with each other to target enemy positions. Without each one having to be controlled by a human operator. Let's see. Bloomberg sources said that the drones could be sent to Ukraine within months, but that this timeline could possibly be extended. Almost every new weapon system delivered to Ukraine has been reported on in a similar way by the Western media, with anonymous military and intelligence sources first describing new kinds of tanks, drones, and armored vehicles as game changers that will help Ukraine retake its lost territory before they fade from the headlines without fundamentally altering the course of the conflict. There is no wonder waffle capable of drastically changing the situation on the battlefield, whether it's heavy tanks, air defense systems, multiple launch rocket systems, or howitzers, Russian ambassador to Germany, Sergei Neshayev, remarked in December, after Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova used the same term to describe cluster bombs supplied to Kiev by the U.S. It's crazy. Copy. I'm whipping through this pretty quick. All right, the next two are Israel, and then I got the headlines. U.S. promises to block Gaza ceasefire. And how many times have they done this? Not just with Gaza, but they've gotten in the way of there being any kind of a ceasefire with Ukraine. And it's ridiculous, in my opinion, that the United States thinks that it should have say-so in any of this stuff. It's crazy. Says the U.S. will be, and then they want to cry and scream, there's election interference, there's election, why not? Why not just let Ukrainians and Russians and the rest of the world vote for who's going to be in office? Because clearly the American people don't have any say. Anyway. The U.S. will veto a United Nations Security Council resolution demanding an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Linda Thomas-Greenfield said in a statement on Saturday. The draft resolution put forward by Algeria, which is expected to come up for a vote on Tuesday, will not be adopted because it does not suit Washington's own efforts to end the war, Thomas-Greenfield claimed. It is critical that other parties give this process the best odds of succeeding rather than push measures that put it and the opportunity for an enduring resolution of hostilities in jeopardy, she said. In addition to an immediate and complete ceasefire, the Algerian resolution would order all parties to comply with international law, establish unfettered humanitarian access throughout all of Gaza, and reject the forced displacement of Palestinian civilians. And see, that's exactly what's going on. We'll show you with the next article. Thomas Greenfield had earlier claimed that the draft would put sensitive negotiations in jeopardy regarding efforts to secure the release of the remaining hostages from Gaza, and impose an extended pause to deliver aid to the people of Gaza, most of whom are living in famine conditions according to the UN. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet issued a declaration on Sunday confirming it categorically rejects international edicts on a permanent arrangement with the Palestinians, specifically the recognition of a Palestinian state. Such a move would grant a major prize to terror, according to the Likud leader. Now, check this out. You notice that this line has changed too, because before it was like, oh, well, no, there can be a Palestine, but we're just always going to be there and we're going to control every aspect of it. To now, no Palestine. Nope. And I've been saying this the entire damn time. From the beginning, that's what this is about. It's about completely taking that land from them, never allowing them to return. And when they're done with the Palestinians, they're going to go after the others. Why? Because people refuse to educate themselves on the who's who of the tribes of Israel. The tribe of Judah, the Jews, are not the only tribe of Israel. The other tribes of Israel are the Arabs that surround there. So it's just, like I say, when they finish off the Palestinians, they're going to go after another group. And they're just going to keep going until they are the only tribe of Israel remaining. That's what they're doing. They're wiping out all the other tribes of Israel. And all anybody has to do is even just the least little bit of effort to educate themselves on what's going on. Sad. It's sad. People are suffering. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has categorically rejected the idea of unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state, arguing that it will be a massive and unprecedented reward to terrorism that will prevent any prospects of a long-standing peace in the future. Speaking at a conference of presidents of the major American Jewish organizations in Jerusalem on Sunday, Netanyahu called the war in Gaza the battle of civilization against barbarism and reiterated his goal of a total victory, starting to sound more and more like Hitler every day. This is the battle that is important for Israel's future and our survival, but is also critical to the future of civilization, the PM emphasized, restating the elimination of Hamas, freeing hostages, and preventing Gaza from ever posing a threat to Israel as the main objective. Yeah, genocide them. Wipe them out. Imagine that. But we were told that wasn't the case. Oh, just wait. Just wait. The Christians' time is coming. They just don't know it yet because they refuse to educate themselves. Just read the Talmud. That is all you have to do. Read the Talmud. Understand that that is what they are going by. And every single one of us are likened to animals. Seriously. Every single one of us. If you're not a Zionist Jew, you're an animal. It's that simple. That simple. And if they aren't going after you yet, just wait. They will. It's crazy. Absolutely mind-blowing. Anyway. Coffee's good. Let me have a couple of vapes. We'll do some headline. Run out of here. I can't wait to go to bed. I mean, I slept last night, but I don't know. I got up and hell, I even came in here and laid down on the futon for a while. I just couldn't feel like I got enough sleep. I don't know. And I was fine pretty much through most of the day. And then this evening, I sat down, got the air fryer back together and stuff, and this evening I sat down. Boy, the moment I sat down, it was just like it hit me like a ton of bricks. Tired, sore, bitchy. My nipples aren't lactating enough. I'm going to have to get some medication. Said me never. All right. Oh, man. Oh, God, I got huffed. All right. I did want to share one particularly from last night. Global LNG demand to surge 50%, says Shell. So, if the global liquid natural gas is going to surge by 50%, the demand, you can pretty well bank on the price going up a bit. So keep that in mind. Somebody was saying like a week or so ago that their energy bill, I can't tell you if it's gas or electric. I think it's gas, but I can't say for sure. Was doubled. So I kind of said that they'd see that again this year, and I don't think it's going to get any better. Let's see. BRICS to see 85% surge in millionaires, says a report. Ukraine can't join NATO while in conflict, says the Netherlands. Kiev abandoned wounded during the Advivka route, said media. Western sanctions ineffective, says EU states president. What's your first clue? This article here says Netanyahu to be ousted, says media. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Shipping giant warns of prolonged Red Sea crisis. Americans sick of spending money on Ukraine, says Jeffrey Sachs. You would have that correct. Germany could hike military spending, says defense minister. Biden offered primetime Russian TV slot. Ukraine will lose more cities without U.S. aid, says Biden. A Russian asset seizure would boomerang, says U.S. Senator. EU state will give all of its artillery to Ukraine, says PM. Stop whining about Trump, says the Netherlands. Let's see. Musk agrees Ukraine conflict is a war of lies. Germany suffering irreversible damage without Russian gas, says Putin. Von der Leyen wants second EU term, says Bild. South American nation denies it provides mercenaries for Ukraine. Moscow condemns neo-Nazi march in the U.S. A longer conflict strengthens Russia, says Musk. Shattered Ukrainian troops retreat from Advivka. Top U.S. senator wants Russia labeled state sponsor of terrorism. And then there is a number one up there. Houthis deploy underwater drone for the first time, says Pentagon. That's why they showed a picture of a plane. Anywho, I'm going to get out of here. I am tired. I am sore. And I'm going to go lactate my nipples. You'll all be glad when tonight's over with, so I don't talk about male lactating nipples anymore. At least not until the next headline. I'll be looking out for it. Anyway, I am going to get the hell out of here, and God willing, I'm not banking on that. But no, last night, no. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this again, even if it isn't as horrible as tonight. And I hope to see you all then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.